The haunted room. It was a dark and stormy night, and Maria found herself alone in the old, dilapidated mansion. She had been hired as a caretaker for the summer and had been warned about the strange happenings in the East Wing. But she was young and brave and thought nothing of it. As she made her way to her room, she couldn't shake the feeling that someone or something was watching her. Suddenly, she heard a creaking sound coming from the East Wing. She stopped in her tracks and listened closely, but all was quiet. Must have been the wind, she thought to herself. Maria finally arrived at her room, but as she reached for the doorknob, she noticed that the door next to hers was slightly ajar. Curiosity getting the best of her, she pushed the door open and peered inside. The room was old and musty, with peeling wallpaper and cobwebs in every corner. But it was the figure standing in the center of the room that caught Maria's attention. It was a ghostly woman dressed in a flowing white gown, with long black hair that reached her waist. Maria tried to run, but she was frozen in place. The ghostly figure started to approach her, and Maria could feel the chill of death upon her. Just as the ghost was about to touch her, Maria woke up, drenched in sweat. From that moment on, Maria could not shake the feeling that the ghostly woman was watching her every move. She tried to ignore it, but every night the ghost would appear in her dreams, getting closer and closer. Finally, Maria could take it no longer, and she gathered the courage to confront the ghost. She entered the East Wing, her heart pounding in her chest, and approached the haunted room. As she entered, the ghostly woman appeared before her once again. But this time, Maria stood her ground. The ghostly woman beckoned to Maria, beckoning her to follow. Maria did as she was told, and the ghost led her to a secret passageway. As they made their way through the twisting and turning tunnels, the ghost began to speak. She told Maria of a hidden treasure that was buried deep within the mansion. Maria was skeptical, but the ghost assured her that the treasure was real. With that, the ghost disappeared, leaving Maria to find the treasure on her own. After a long and exhausting search, Maria finally discovered the treasure hidden away in a hidden room. But as she reached out to touch it, she was surrounded by ghostly figures, all of whom were the former owners of the mansion, who had been murdered for their wealth. In that moment, Maria realized that the ghostly woman had led her to the treasure so that she could take her place as the latest victim of the haunted mansion. From that day on, Maria was never seen or heard from again. Some say that she was claimed by the ghostly woman and her army of the murdered, and now haunts the East Wing of the mansion, waiting for her next victim.